ISPs. They're pretty bad. I mean, you know, bad service, slow internet, and recently they've gone a little too far. Companies like Comcast, Time Warner, Verizon, and AT&T have been trying to take away from us what's rightfully ours. Now, what they've been trying to do is slow down our internet so we have to pay more just so we can get the same amount of internet speed we have now. So this will make things a little harder for us to go to our favorite website or our favorite social media or online gaming, or even just trying to stay connected to our friends and family. Now, according to Bloomberg, the term network neutrality was coined in 2002 by Tim Wu, a law professor and author. He argued that no authority should be able to decide what kind of information was and wasn't allowed on the internet. But Wu also recognized the expense of maintaining network hardware, so he proposed that providers should be allowed to charge based on usage. Basically, net neutrality means the internet should not be treated like a business. It should be actually treated like an open access of information that everyone can be accessible to. So, the internet itself is a very important part in our society nowadays. I mean, you see from the speech before, it's actually somewhat of an addiction at this point. But keeping it open and free from these ridiculous policies and charges will ensure that companies like ISPs won't be able to take over the internet as a business. Now, the 3 points I'm going to go over in this speech are as follows. The first point will be what the internet will be without net neutrality. Why net neutrality might disappear again, and this will also source what the source of the issue will be. And thirdly is what we can do to save and keep net neutrality. Now, on the first point, if the internet does not have net neutrality, its integrity would be lost. We would, like as I said before, we have slow websites, and that might even jam with heavy trafficking, as well as just because of the fact that consumers, depending on how much money consumers have to pay the ISPs. Now, according to Doug Gross from CNN, for one, companies like Verizon who sued FCC over the rules will be able to pick and choose who gets the best access. So, for example, they might start charging big fees for websites to get into the fast lane. Now, without net neutrality, the internet would essentially be taken over by the ISPs. They have control to limit or control what we, the consumers, would see and what we cannot interact with. So the stuff that we do see would be the ones that the ISPs would charge extra for, just simply for accessibility. Now, how come something like this can happen? And why would anyone want to do such a thing? This leads me to point 2 then. The reason why net neutrality might go away is because companies want to get rid of net neutrality. The same companies like Comcast, Time Warner Cable, Verizon, and AT&T. Now, they want to get rid of net neutrality for a number of reasons. One of them being the untapped potential for profit in internet trafficking. They essentially want to monopolize over being the gatekeepers of the internet, charging expensive toll fees for accessibility for those who want to provide and access websites. So, an article from Daily Dot said that not only does the anti-net neutrality party devote more lobbying attention to the issue, but these top organizations also consistently have a much larger lobbying footprint. Basically, it means the companies that are against net neutrality have a large effort and influence over the Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC, and this is just due to the sheer number of legal demands and backing behind them. Luckily, though, the FCC has made an effort to secure net neutrality, but it hasn't come without obstacles. Early this February, an article by Ars Technica by John Thornton said that AT&T seems resigned to the near certainty that the Federal Communications Commission will reclassify broadband as a common carrier service in order to enforce net neutrality rules. But it isn't going to let the decision stand without a legal challenge, and the company is already telling the world what it's going to do or argue in court. So, as another situation may look bleak, but there is still hope. What we can do. Anyways, Tom Wheeler, the chairman of the FCC, has already considered on reclassifying the internet as a Title II utility. Basically, that means the internet will be treated like a telephone service. It would secure and save net neutrality, and so that it wouldn't have to deal with all these ridiculous policies that the internet ISPs will be dealing with. This is from, according to law.cornell.edu, this is a section from the Title II utility, that's section 202. It shall be unlawful for any common carrier to make any unjust or unreasonable discrimination in charges, practices, classifications, regulations, facilities, or services, or in connection with live communication services directly or indirectly long story short, it basically means ISPs can't make any unbiased judgments to their services and to their consumers. In any case, oh, yes. As some of you may know, actually, on the 26th, the FCC has already reclassified net neutrality as a Title II utility. That means net neutrality is safe in America for now. Unfortunately, the victory was short-lived, and articles like these came out soon after. This article from Slate.com by Lily Newman said that on Wednesday, Republican Representative Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee reintroduced the Internet Freedom Act as part of an attempt to stop the FCC from moving forward with its new net neutrality rules. So, as I said, this is one of many, like the AT&T lawsuit and Verizon as well, and so we still have a long way to go before it's completely safe. What we can do is contact our government officials, or like say our House of Reps or California senators, like Barbara Boxer or Dianne Feinstein. Like, send them a letter, just let them know something that they might not be aware of, or they may be neglecting, or better yet, just be aware, spread the word, tell everyone that net neutrality is still not safe from these corporate offices that are looking for profit. As I said before, the internet is a very important part of our society, and we should not let it. We shouldn't let the ISP corporations take it over. So, keeping it open and free is essential. Like I said before, like the 3 points that life without the internet, without net neutrality would be very limiting. Companies would be basically controlling our lives, and they are the source of the issue. Like because of what they exploit in the government as well, their demand for success will be hindering us. And so, I just hope you'll be willing to join me in the fight to keep net neutrality.